and welcome to Maisha Chapters. This week we are on the second episode of Industry Voices, and today we take a delve into the job market abroad. With me today is none other than Esther Onderi, and she's going to just enlighten us about what it is like moving or going to search for greener pastures abroad. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Damaris, for the warm welcome.
You're welcome.
I'm happy to be here. And I'll answer some of the questions that you ask. I hope I can answer all of them, and I hope the information will be able to help someone.
Okay. All right. So, you are a Kenyan by descent?
I'm Kenyan born. Yes. I'm Kenyan. I'm a Kenyan citizen, Kenyan born. I'm just living abroad. Yeah.
So, how did you now move to living in the United States of America?
So I moved via green card. Right now I'm aware that most people already know that you can apply for a green card and go. Before I used to think that it doesn't exist or it's not real, but when it happened to me, that's when I realized, oh, you mean it's true? At first I didn't actually believe that I had one. I remember I told you, and I told you not to share with people because I wasn't really sure. And then later on, after getting information on the internet, I was able to know how the process goes, and yeah, that's how I moved.
How was it like in that moment when you were like, okay, let me just try this out?
So before I tried applying for the green card, I was trying to move abroad, like to a different country. In fact, my mind was never going to the United States. So I was thinking of maybe I should go to and study maybe in Canada or yeah, in a different country. Mostly it was Canada. And then while I was in the process of applying for scholarships and schools, my friends they sent me the link to apply for the green card, and I wasn't really into it, honestly, because I didn't really know at that time. I didn't really know much about the green card, so I didn't really know the benefits and everything. So when they said, I applied because someone told me to apply, and I applied, and luckily I got chosen. Because it's a lottery, so it's really hard to be selected because they only select like 50,000 people in the whole world, and that's very few compared to the huge population.
So, you were among the 50,000.
Yes, I'm lucky.
Lucky you. Because would you say there's something that you did differently? What was your thought process like in that moment?
So there's nothing different, and actually filling out that form is as easy as they ask you your name, your school, when you graduated, and it was just as easy as that.
Okay. So, all right. So you're saying it's as easy as it comes?
Yeah, it's as easy. Applying is as easy as, and that's the easy part. Because the only thing you need to do is get a computer, open the link, and just fill out your name, and then they do the selection. Then when you check, it's a long process because you have to wait for a long time. So after like 8 months, because you apply in October, and then the results come in May, so you have to wait that time, and then in May you just check.
Okay, so I want to understand during this 8-month period, what were you doing? Were you now going on with your own business, or were you waiting anxiously?
So here's the thing, because for me, applying for the green card was not my first thought. Like, it wasn't something that I was looking forward to. So for me, life went on as usual, and I'd advise anyone that applies, just move on, because you cannot let your life won't stop just because you applied for a green card. If you want to do anything with your life, just do it.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if it's last year but we had so many Kenyans applying for this green card, and it's like everybody just wanted to move. For you, what was the driving factor behind it?
So it's kind of a weird story, and I think you know it. So I remember when we I think it was after my first internship. No, it was like my dad. I did so many interviews, I did so many internships. So there was this internship, I was working for this company, and it was good. Like I really liked the company, but in the process I didn't get the job, and I was kind of discouraged. So working for those people, I felt like maybe I just need to go abroad. Like I was so disappointed, and I think from that time I said, you know what, let me just apply for a scholarship and move abroad. So I started applying to Canada, and then now applying for the green card, there was no driving force because it's not something I was looking forward to.
Okay, so would you say you wanted to go for studies or was it just work? For you, what was it between the two?
Honestly, I was just looking for a way to live. So yeah, I would say like I was, because when you go to the internet and try to see like ways you can move abroad, mostly they'll say you go through school or the green card or maybe visitors. But if you want to stay there, the green card is the best option. But you can go for school too. And some countries, maybe after school, you can get a job, get a work permit, and then they can give you a permanent residence.
Okay, I feel like I've gotten a good understanding of what that process looks like. So I would want to know for you on this day that you heard that you were selected to be among the 50,000. What was that like? What was that feeling?
I don't know if it's a personality thing, but I don't really get to, you know, this. I'm not that person who, like, if something happens, I'll be all over celebrating and all that. For me, it was just like, oh, I got selected. I don't even know what the next step is. But for me, it was just like, oh. And then I moved on. Like, it was just like that. And then I decided, you know what, let me start getting information on this thing and see if it's real. First of all, I didn't even believe it was real. So I called a friend of mine who I had knew someone who had gone through green card. Shared the email, and like I just wanted them to confirm that this is how it comes. So when I shared that, first let me take you back. After now when it was time to check the results, I first like typed in those codes, but then the thing is the email didn't come back. So for me, it was just like, you know what, I was never selected, and since it's not something that I was looking forward to, so I just kind of ignored it. And then that time when I decided to check the second time, because a friend of mine called me and said, you need to check, you need to confirm before you apply for a Canadian visa. So at that time, I'm like, okay, I'll just check. But my hopes, they were not so high. I wasn't expecting anything. And then, boom, I opened and I was selected. So after being selected, I was like, hey, I remember I called Dama and I'm like, Dama, I've been selected, but I don't think it was like an excitement or anything. I was just like, I think I've been selected or something. And then the next day, I called my grandpa just to confirm, because for him at least he knows these things. So when I contacted him, he's like, oh, that's really good. You need to start processing. I'm like, oh, now I need to process again. I thought when you win a green card, you just go, like you just pay for your ticket and go. Yeah, so I had to find information, learn how to process the whole thing. It was a long process, but you need to be patient.
Yeah. Okay. So lucky for you, you don't get excited. If it were me, all my village mates would know. Mwalimu wa math, here we come. Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned something about the codes. What was that? I don't know what that is.
So once you apply for the green card, they give you like a code which you need to hang on to for the 8 months. I think it's 8 months until when they announce the results. You just key in that code and then they'll give you the results.
Okay. So do they announce that, okay, the results are out? Is there a channel of communication, or do you just find out online from people?
You find out online and mostly on their website. You can check their website, yeah.
So what's that website, if you could tell us? Is it just green card? You know, I've never applied.
You should have told. She'll put the link down below. It's a US DV something.
Oh, okay, yeah. So she'll share it and I'll link it in the description box
Yeah.
for anyone who's willing to apply. Okay, so between now, you have now gotten the green card. So, there are people who get green cards and they decide to stay.
Yes, but you have not gotten the green card yet.
So,
once you get selected, that's like it's like nothing. Okay. Really. Okay. That doesn't guarantee anything. It doesn't even mean that you'll go. Because when you get the results, it comes with a case number and they process those case numbers because they don't really select 50,000 people. They select more than 50,000 people because you never know what happens. And then once, like, I might apply as one person and then maybe have a baby along the way. So when I'm processing my green card, they'll include my child, and then someone else might die, so there'll be space. So there are those kind of things because life, as I said, life keeps going.
Yeah. Okay. So between when you have been selected, and okay, then take us through the whole process and then even I want you to explain that decision making process. So first of all, I want you to explain what now the process looks like from the time now you've been selected, the next steps after that to finally the day that you now finally move.
First of all, it's mostly about being patient. Like, I think patience is the only thing that will help you through the whole thing, because what you're supposed to do is not as much. Okay, because once you get, like, you receive the message, you've been selected, you've been randomly selected, blah blah blah, and then there's information down there which tells you to process the DS260. Like, that's a form. You go online and fill it. The tip that I'd give when filling out that form is just say the truth. You'd rather just say the truth, because when you get to the interview, you need to provide proof. For example, if you say you're married, you need to provide marriage certificates. If you have a baby, you need to get consent. If either you may be traveling with your kids or not, because maybe you're separated with your spouse and they don't want you to travel with your kid. You need to say that you have a kid and you're not traveling with them. If you're separated, just say you're separated. If you're married and you're not traveling with your spouse, just say you're married and you're not traveling with your spouse. Because when you go to the embassy, they look at all your documents and they verify them. So you don't want to be caught in a lie. And then, so once you fill the DS260, you submit and wait for another, I don't know how long. They start processing like, for example, I applied in 2018, the results came in 2019 May, and then I had to, after I processed the DS260, they start processing from, according to case number, from around August or September there. So you have to wait for your case number. Like, you wait, like, maybe August, maybe September to September, they process maybe 1 to 5,000, and then October 5,000 to maybe 10,000 or 15,000, depending on your region. So when they get close to you, when your case number goes current, they send you another form. The second form is the one that you'll use to go to the medicals, for the medicals, and then when you pass the medicals, you go for the interview. The medicals, what you need to know is, like, they check everything. And they give you immunization and all those things. And the thing that scares most people is the TB, I think. Yeah, the tuberculosis. Because once they do the scanning, if you have a scar, then it means that you had TB and they need to treat you. Because I think they only trust their medicines or something. So they treat you with and that might even take 6 months. And so the worst thing about it is that they might treat you and then your processing time is over. So that means you lost you might lose your green card. And I don't know what happens after that. Just pray that everything goes well, and then you go to the interview. The interview is so easy. They only ask you questions that you know. They ask you where you go, when you graduated, things that are on your DS260.
Okay. So at this point, you've not gotten the green card yet.
No, not yet.
Okay. So for you now, when you were told you have now passed all the tests, what was that like?
I was happy. That was now the first time that I felt, oh, now my hopes, now I see myself going abroad. So when they give you the visa, they tell you, hey, congratulations, you are welcome to. I don't even know if that those were the words, but along those lines. So they congratulate you. They tell you that they'll give you a visa back in 2 weeks.
Mm.
Yeah.
So did you pay anything throughout this process?
Yes. Payment comes for for the interview. We paid some amount. I don't remember how much, and also for the medicals.
You mentioned that you called your grandpa. Means you had support during this entire time. So what does that feel or look like?
I had a support system. People had asked questions, and I knew a few people who knew other people who had gone through the same means. But just because you don't have someone to ask all this information, you can always get them on the internet. So there are people, for example, if you go on Facebook, you can, maybe there's a page called Green Card Lottery Kenya. So there you'll get most information. And the thing is, you should first verify the one who's giving you information, because everyone gives their own opinion. And those opinions, sometimes some people don't really know what it's supposed to be. So you need to verify. Like, I know one person, the person who helped us a lot, I think it's a she, or her name is Jean. She was the one who was giving us all the information. Or you can go to YouTube. I know of Brit Simon. He also gives a good information about the green card.
Mm. Okay, so this entire time, which channel of communication do they use to communicate? Is it email? Is it phone?
They send you emails, so make sure to check your emails constantly.
All right. Yeah. So pro tip: check your emails before you have even confirmed if you can work. Check your emails. Okay. So another question I wanted to ask is any tips for any person who wants to move abroad through the green card?
Maybe I can give you a tip while processing. So make sure your host is solid. I'm not saying that others are not solid. I'm just saying, just check that they have the right income according to the state where they live in, because someone cannot host you if they live below the poverty level. So, and also, you don't expect, like, for example, me, I live maybe in a 1 bedroom. There's no way I can host a family of 4. So you need to check the income. And once you see the income, like, there's a form that they send you. It's called a W-2. That form is the one that there's a place, like, if you look through the W-2, I know it's kind of complicated unless you've seen it before, but if you look through the W-2, there's a place where they say annual income. So you check the annual income and then go to the internet, and then there's a page where they say, oh, if you're hosting one person, you need to be making this amount of money. Yeah, that would be helpful. Because if you get to the interview and the income is below, they'll return you. They'll put you on, I don't know if it's called PAP or something, but they'll ask you to go get another host, and then you bring the documents, and that's wastage of time.
Yeah. Okay. So you have now landed in the USA. So at what point do they give the green card?
So once you land, you go to your host. They'll send the green card to your host. Yeah, because you give out the address. That's why you give out the address when applying.
Okay, so forgive my ignorance, but what does a green card look like?
A green card is it's like your ID, but it's green.
It's literally green.
Yes.
Okay. So, Okay, so you've now finally gotten the green card and you are in the United States of America. What does day one look like?
First of all, I think most things you imagine how it will be. You imagine how excited. Okay, let me just take you through my thought process and my emotions at that point. Before I flew, like the day before, I thought I'd be very excited. But here's the thing, you're not even excited. Mostly I was nervous.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to a new land. I don't know. I only know the person who's hosting me, and it's not like we're that close at that time. We weren't that close. And I don't know, just moving to a new country, that's scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get there, they pick you up, they take you home, and that's it. You start your life in America.
So how do you start?
So there's okay, you need to, they'll start sending you documents. First of all, they'll send you the social security. That comes in your mail, like about 3 weeks after you land. Some people it takes longer, sometimes it takes short time. Sometimes you have to follow up. Like me, when I traveled, it was during COVID, and that time nothing was working. Especially the state I went to, nothing was going on. So I struggled. I struggled a bit. I stayed for I think 3 months before I got my social security, which means I wasn't working. I was just staying in the house, going with my aunt when she'd go to the stores. That's what I did. But right now everything is open, which means you'll get your green card within 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And if it doesn't come after 3 weeks, you can call them. Yeah.
So you'll say moving or that transition during the pandemic was a little bit difficult on your end.
Yeah, for me, the going during COVID was a bit, I'd say, challenging because of like the things were slow, nothing was happening. My social security was late, so I couldn't get even a job. Yeah, but right now everything is fine.
Okay, so remember when I was asking about did you move for work or for studies, and you said it was you just wanted to move. Now you're in this state that you thought or you imagined is going to be it for you, and you've landed, and after some time you've gotten the social security number. You'll actually tell us what that is and why it's important. Yeah, so why is the social security number important, and now did you get what you were looking for?
Well, getting social security is the easy part. Getting the green card, I think that's the easy part. So a social security is it's like a number that you'd use. I want to compare it to Huduma number, but I don't see Huduma number working.
Kaput.
But anyway, so a social security is like can I say ID number? I don't even think I can say ID number, because once someone has access to your social security number, they can do whatever they want with you. They can even mess your life. So, because when you go to the bank, anywhere you go, they ask for the social security number, the taxes, social security number, everything.
So is it private?
Yeah, it's private. Once you get your social security, please don't
so you can't disclose it to me?
No, I cannot.
What do you mean?
I cannot. No one knows my social security number.
Everyone operates like that in the United States?
Yes, and don't even let your hosts open it. Just make sure when you get that envelope, it's sealed.
Wait a minute. So, but people from the bank institutions have it?
No, they don't have it. Like when you open an account, they tell you, okay, you know how professionalism. So when you go to, like when I start working at a company, the HR is the one who asks for the social security number. So they might give you like a thing you key in the social security, or they might even ask for it, because for employment you have to provide the physical thing. They'll see it, but they cannot use it in any way.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, like for example, I work in payroll and I get to see the social securities, but there's nothing I can do with them. because that's really private. Like I don't know.
Is it? Do you sign somewhere?
Yeah, you
Is
have
it code of conduct.
Yeah, code of conduct. You cannot use that number. That's personal information. Like
So
no
you
one
want
knows
to
my
mean
social
if I
security.
access your social security number, I go check your bank account balance.
You can do whatever. You can even take all the money from my account.
Whoa.
You can even go and start calling yourself Esther and then work in my name. Like you can even steal my identity. Just because you have my social security number. It's that bad.
Okay, I didn't know about that. Yeah, so now you've got everything, you've settled in and you're ready. What was your first job like? Did you study or did you go? You know, I know you, so that's why I'm asking what your first job was like. So, yeah.
My first job. So what I advise people is when you move to a different country, your expectations should not be as high. You just can't come from a different country and then expect everything will work out. It's not linear. Like you have to you can some people are lucky enough to get jobs in the field, but I think that also depends with information. If you get the right information, things will work out. So for me, my first job, it was casual. I was just doing casual works. Yeah. For a while I did those casual. Yeah.
Was it enough to sustain your lifestyle?
No, at this point I don't even have a lifestyle.
Wow. Okay, but you are able to survive.
But at least you can, like my first job, because I was being paid very little money, at least I could pay for my phone bill. I can get my means to work. Yeah, before I kind of get my way around and get a good job.
So experience doesn't matter at this point.
Right now that I've stayed there for a while, I feel like it does. Like I feel like it does, because like there's a I got my first corporate job through my experience in Kenya and also my papers. But when I moved there, the information I had was like, hey, you know what? Those Kenyan papers, like, they don't work here. So, like, that's wrong information. Because someone I know, they just moved the other day, like a month or two ago, and they got their job in the profession that they were doing here in Kenya. So, it's just information and the people you talk to.
So if I apply for a green card and I move, most likely I'll get a job, eh?
That's a tough question, because you need to be open and ready to do whatever before you actually get a job. Because I can't really say that it's easy or it's hard. I just know it's possible.
Okay. You don't believe in impossibilities.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe just give us examples of such jobs, the casual jobs that you mentioned, like just examples.
Casual jobs. There's so many. Like you can get whatever. Like you can work in an industry, packing things. You can work in a nursing home, but in a nursing home you only get, like, you get paid. I think the more you improve your, because there's something that I know most people have heard about CNA. CNA is like a nursing assistant. You can do CNA. It's a really short course, just a month, and you'll be able to work in nursing homes and you get paid a little better, better than someone who doesn't have it. But even if you don't have it, you still can work in those nursing homes. Only that the pay will be a little lower.
Yeah. So I know that you are now currently in a good corporate job where you can now sustain your lifestyle. So I want you to just paint a picture of me between your first job to where you are right now. What did you do differently? What challenges did you face in between? Do you now live alone? You know, what was it like owning your first home? But let's just go one step at a time. Now let's talk about your job.
So you just said home. I have an apartment, not a house. So
We are manifesting.
amen. But anyway, so after So I kind of moved a little. Like the first time after I stayed in the state that I was hosted for a few months, and then I decided to move to a different state.
Yeah.
That was tough, especially because I was moving to somewhere I didn't really know people, and I was going to start a life on my own, and I didn't have a steady income. I didn't have money. Like I was just going to start all over again. So I'd say that my first job, it was just a first job. Like I wasn't even like it wasn't. It helped me a little. At least I had money. But then after that, when I moved to a different state, I got like a better job, still casual, but at this point I knew I could get an apartment with that kind of money. It's not a lot, but it's something. And then while in the process, I decided to start my masters because now I already have a degree. So I need I need to improve my just to get a better job. But in the process, when I just started, I got now my current job, which is better because I'm able to pay for my bills. I can pay for my bills, and I can live. It's not really a huge life, but I can say I can live comfortably. Like the basic needs, I can be able to pay for them.
So you now own an apartment, and you're now paying your own bills, and you've also now moved out. At this point, have you gotten a car?
So here's the thing. When you get to America, the first thing you need to think about is a car. And I know it sounds really weird because I don't even have a place to live, but I'm thinking about a car. But sometimes you go to these workplaces and they ask you, hey, do you have a car? You say no. And they're like, this job needs someone who drives.
Why?
Because if they need you at 3 a.m., what would you do?
Why are you needing me past work hours?
Because it's a 24-hour economy mostly. Most companies, like for example, those casual jobs, they need you at work. Maybe your schedule, when you look at your schedule, it's like, oh, I need to be at work at 3 or at 2 or any time. Like there's nothing like, oh, it has to be 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. or 9 or 5 p.m. to 6 a.m. So if you need to go to work, or sometimes it's just if you don't have a car, how are you gonna get to work? Okay, there are buses, but those buses, a place where you can drive 20 minutes, you might take even 2 hours. It's inconveniencing. So yeah.
Okay, so what difference do you see between the job market there and here in Kenya? And I also want you to talk about the income.
Well, so the job market. So when you decide on what you wanna do, you need to do your research. Like for me, I think information is the thing that helps me a lot. I read through the internet all the time. I'm always on the internet. So you need to cause mostly when you get there, everyone is like, hey, you need to do nursing. Cause I think mostly everyone believes that nursing is the only career, and honestly, nursing pays really well. It pays really well, but for someone like me, nursing is not my thing. I tried even working in those places. I'm like, no, I can't do this. I can't do this. So there are other careers. They say you have the freedom to do whatever you want, right? So you can do whatever you want. It just depends with like me, I decided to take the accounting route because that's what I was when I say that that's what I was used to. It looks like I don't want to change, but that's how I envisioned my career. So I decided to go with what I wanted, and I decided to do the accounting. Here's the thing: accounting has a lot of jobs. I think jobs in accounting, it's like jobs in nursing. The ones that you can get them. Only that I feel like maybe nursing they pay a little more. With accounting, you need to build your experience to get more pay. Yeah, but I wouldn't discourage. I would advise someone just do what you want. Don't, because I've seen people who've gone and then because they were told, hey, you need to do nursing, and then they do nursing, and then later on they're like, you know what, I can't work in this industry. That's wastage of time and money, and school fees is not a joke. Like, it's a lot of money. So yeah, you can decide. Some people just want money. If you want money and you can do nursing, I mean, go for it. But for some of us, like me, I remember even I was asking you about it when I wanted to make the decision on whether to do nursing or not.
And what did I tell you?
She said, just know that she encouraged me to just go by what I wanted, and I'm happy I did.
Follow your passion is what you're saying. So what key challenges would you say you've faced so far?
The challenges are the challenges I can't even count. Honestly. You know, I was telling you, like, I think I tell you everything. I call you when I'm stuck, even when I know she can't help.
Yeah.
But I call her. But first of all, from the beginning, the challenges, like, once I've landed, so the challenges will start from there, because you're being hosted. First of all,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, okay, my host, I feel like I'm lucky because my host was my aunt, and she was someone who, like, she took care of me as my mom would.
Yeah.
But hosts are very, they're very, like, you might get there and then not get hosted. If that makes sense.
You get ghosted.
Yeah, you get ghosted. You
Yeah.
might even get ghosted. Some people have had, they were at the airport and their host never came to pick them up. That's sad, because now where do you go? And then, or you go start living with your host, and then life is not easy. Life is not easy living with someone. I mean, these challenges are everywhere, but in a different country, it's a different kind of challenge.
Yeah.
It's really hard. Or another problem is the amount of money you make in the beginning. Sometimes it might not be enough for you. Okay, there's some people who get good jobs, like they just learn, get a good job, get their own place and all that. But so it's not always the case. So be prepared, be open, and just accept the way things are, and you try and improve. Another challenge that I think about is wait, what? There's so many challenges.
Culture shock.
Culture shock. Oh, that reminds me. Sometimes you need to talk like those people. Like, you get there and you're trying to communicate. Like, I know, like, us from Kenya, we already know English, so it's a bit easier. But some people are like, it's really difficult to communicate, and getting a job, sometimes you might have to fake it a little. So yeah, culture shock. I didn't get much of a culture shock, maybe because, as I said, I'm always on the internet and I'm reading things. So for me, it was kind of easier. And another thing, getting someone, like, getting a good host who helps you through the way is good. Because if you don't know how to drive, you need to learn how to drive. And the only person who can help you is your host. Or you pay someone else to do it, which is a bit expensive.
There are no driving schools?
There are, but it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Most people are taught by the people they live with. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I know maybe it has not been all rosy, but there are some things that happened to you and you were like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, of course. First of all, landing in America, it wasn't my dream, but once I landed, it felt like a dream. So yeah, I was super excited. Now that I know I have, like, all these opportunities, like they say, there's so many opportunities in America, and that's true. So I know, like, at that point, I'm like, I have a bright future. So it's just a matter of time. And then also, something else that happened. let me see. Oh, when I got my first apartment, that was a major milestone for me because I'd been living with other people, and since when I was in school, I liked to live alone. So when I got my first apartment, I was so happy. That was a milestone for me. And then being able to go to school, another major milestone. Um, Graduating.
That was a big one.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
Because it's been 3 years. I already have my master's already. Like I can say
You've achieved a lot.
I can say I'm in a good
short
place.
span of time.
Yeah, but I can say the way to achieve things is the company you keep. Because when you get there, you have the freedom. You can decide to even be a drug, whatever. You decide, you know what, I'm just gonna be doing drugs. Some people I was talking to, they're like, hey, I've stayed here for 10 years, but they haven't really accomplished much. But when they tell you the story, it's like, oh, I got a bad company and then I went into drugs. And yeah.
So it's like the way you join high school and you're told peer pressure is a beast.
Yeah. And then, but when I look at it, like the people I was talking to mostly, they encourage you to go back to school, they encourage you to do this thing. Like, I remember my uncle is the one who encouraged me to go to school immediately.
Yeah.
So he played a very major role.
Yeah.
And I see that the friends I'm making right now, they're kind of, they all want to go to school because, like, you know, some people may look at your life and think that it's easier. Maybe because I have a job that I work from home. I get all the time that I want. Yeah.
So, during all this time, when you're facing all these challenges and transitioning and all that, what is that one thing that you will say kept you through?
Talking to you.
Pay me, people.
I remember there's a time I even wanted to come back because I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. But I feel like talking to my friends was such a big deal because they encourage you. Like Dama, if you call her, she'll make you even want to stay even when you don't want to. But anyway, I feel like and something that pushed me is because I knew there were opportunities and I knew it was going to get better. Like from here, I don't think it could have been any worse. I don't know. Yeah.
So you have a community of friends back home. Do you now have a community?
Yeah, I do have a community. Like I'm surrounded by people who I didn't even know of them. Some of them even we've been friends for like 2 months. But here's the thing: when you're in a foreign country, you meet other Kenyans. You're so excited. You're like, oh, this is a Kenyan, and then you become friends, and that's how you build your own community. Right now, I'd say if I know people who I'd call for anything. Like I don't think I can be stuck as easily. Yeah.
Okay. That's nice. I'm glad that you're now in a better place, and honestly, as your friend, I have seen you through the journey. If it were me, I think I would have given up a long time ago, even if I was the one that was giving the encouragement. And maybe just there's a discrepancy in terms of the currency. In Kenya and in America, there's the dollar. So do you have now to work more to gain more? Because sometimes, and I know this by talking to you, sometimes the expenses are more.
Yeah.
So when you're in America, people think you have money. I'm not saying you don't have money. I just don't want people to start calling you. But there's that assumption that people in America do have money. Is that a myth? Is it true that you guys are balling?
Balling is a different story. But you know, most people when you're in Kenya, you're like, oh, someone might even tell you they're making, let's say, for example, $15 an hour. So if you say $15 an hour per day, you're getting around, I don't know, how much is that? 15 times, probably you're working 8 hours. So you can do the math. So if someone converts that amount of money into Kenya shillings, it looks like a lot.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot, but honestly, it doesn't. It's not something. Anyway, some people live by that. But what I'm saying is, the expenses there and the expenses in Kenya are very different. Like you might think, because the lifestyle there, it's catered by the money you make.
Mm-hmm.
I can make money. I can make $1,000. Someone else will think, oh, she has 140,000 Kenya shillings. For someone, that's good money. But what can $1,000 do for me in America?
Mm-hmm.
Probably it can pay my rent.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's about it. And it's not even enough for that rent. Some people, once they get the dollars, they send a lot of money. Like some people just go to extra lengths. Some people make a lot of money and they send almost all their money back home. And then they end up struggling. So I think the best thing, it's about managing your finances. I don't think there's little money. I just think you can manage whatever you're making. Yeah.
Okay, so I know I'm asking too many questions.
It's okay, you can
but
ask.
Now the American dream that was sold. Welcome to America. Will you say it's easier there than here in Kenya?
What's the American dream? Like
when you were moving, when you finally breathed that air, you were like, ooh,
welcome to America.
Welcome to America. And you're saying that you knew hata kama ijajipa sahi itajipa baadaye. Meaning you were holding on to hope that something will come, and it was different while in Kenya. It's like in Kenya it was hauko sure sana, but there it's like you were certain.
I don't even know if it's certain 100%, but I think because I've seen people go make it there, I've seen people making it, and I've seen job opportunities, and the fact that I don't even need to work in my field to make money. I can work in those casual jobs and still make money. So for me, coming from Kenya, where first of all you're struggling with getting a job, and then you go to some place where probably you'll start with working at the supermarket, and you're still making money. It's not enough. It's not what you were looking for, but it's something, and it's a starting point. Obviously, you'll make more as time goes by. So for me, that gave me it gave me hope, and that's why I feel like it just pushes you. It just makes you want to do better. It just
Yeah. Okay, so now, what do you enjoy most about living in America?
Money.
What?
I love that I can get money and travel.
Yeah, I've been seeing you. I've been seeing you on the ground. Uko Mexico, Jamaica. Hey, unatoa wapi pesa by the way?
By the way, it doesn't require that much money to travel. It's just I can get access to that kind of money. Because some people never travel. I don't think you see everyone traveling. And in fact, I get people who ask me, hey, where do you get the money you use to travel? And I'm like,
because
why? Like, why are you asking such a question? Because you use your money for other things. I use my money to travel. Like, you don't worry about where I get the money to travel. Maybe I'm saving a whole year to travel to Jamaica,
or maybe you're doing drugs.
Yeah, or maybe I'm doing.
Wait, you'll be deported.
I'm not doing anything illegal. That was a joke.
Okay. We are on to my favorite segment of this episode, and that is the games section. And I want to ask a few questions, and I'm going to ask of his hot take on that, and you have 2 seconds to answer these questions. And first off, to get us started, is that pineapple has no place on pizza.
I disagree.
You disagree?
I totally disagree. Pineapple is the best thing on pizza. I like Hawaiian. Okay. That's my favorite.
Alright. Dogs are better pets than cats.
Well, I don't like. Okay, maybe I'm not supposed to say this on the internet, but Not really a pet person, but I'd prefer dogs.
Dogs.
Yes,
iPhones are better than Androids.
I use an iPhone, so I'll go with that. That's true.
Okay. Just traveling is better with your friends.
Yes, of course.
Camping under stars is overrated.
It's overrated, that's for sure.
What?
Yeah, why would you like camping? Camping under stars? Camping, anyway, I don't know why people like camping, so.
Yeah. Okay. I love camping. No, the last time I went camping, glamping.
Glamping? Glamping is okay, but camping?
Yeah.
No, no.
But under the stars?
Still, do I still need to sleep on the tents?
Okay, skinny jeans look horrible on men.
True, I agree.
I agree. Crocs are comfortable but ugly.
They're comfortable.
Ugly?
They're pretty Crocs.
Okay, avocado is overrated.
No,
Avocado is not
avocado is
overrated.
underrated.
Most people agree on way more than they disagree on.
People are people pleasers, so yeah, they do agree a lot.
Okay. Elections don't actually change that much. They don't change anything.
In Kenya, they don't. I think most places, I don't know if other places they do, but I don't think so. They don't.
No one pays attention to the Oscars.
I don't. So I think no one does.
Beyonce's music is overrated.
I agree. And I don't know if I'm gonna
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite musician?
Backlash for that, but I feel like it's overrated.
Okay, just a little bit. I want to search. KFC is the most overrated fast food chain.
It is. It is overrated.
Okay, is it because of the KFC in US or KFC here in Kenya?
Because I've tried the other chain restaurants, so KFC is overrated.
Okay, here this one. Only old people use Facebook.
No, not really.
Yeah, I thought you would call me old. I actually love Facebook very much.
I don't love Facebook, but people do love it, like her. So.
Okay. TikTok is a waste of time unless you like watching dance videos.
Well, I love TikTok. I live on TikTok, but it does waste your time
a lot. Yeah, I agree. Hostels are better places to stay than hotels. Let's flip this. Airbnbs are better places to stay than hotels.
I agree. That one is debatable, but I do agree. It's better to stay in an Airbnb. You save, and I like saving.
You are a finance person. So what will you tell someone who wants to make that shift and move to the United States of America?
Just do it. Just go for it. If you want to move to America, you have the opportunity. Just follow your dreams. Because if you don't, I feel like you might end up, you'll keep saying, hey, I wish I went to America. I don't believe in regrets. Like if you want to move, just move. There are some challenges. I'm not going to say that it's easy, but you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Okay. Yeah, so you can see us rubbing our eyes. We're shooting this late in the night. The things we do for you guys. Alright, so what are some of the myths that you will say are associated with people in America?
Myths that say people assume you have a lot of money. Yes, you do have a lot of money. I'm not saying that you don't. You do have money, but the assumption that you have money that you can just give, and expecting too much from people, and you don't really know their lives back there. Like some people are living. It's not rosy. It's not all rosy. So the assumption that everyone is living a good life and that they can give you money whenever you ask. That's a myth. I don't know if it's a myth, but si kila saa ati mtu anashinda kikuomba pesa juu utashinda kama umeniitisha pesa, yet me I have my own. Alafu unajua there's this thing where she gets dollars, so if I ask for 3,000 Kenya shillings, that's like what, $30 or 20 something dollars. That's like you atapata tu. Unaona your assumption. Nah, like people are dealing with so many things. Like just give people who live abroad, like uwape, sitaki kusema break, but for lack of a better word, a break.
So umeniambia nikikwama nisipigie simu.
Ukikwama unaweza nipigie simu. Sisemi usipige. Nasema tu mtu ukimpigia kwambie leo sina, just understand.
Okay, so sawa. We left one important aspect that I would want you to address even before we wind up, about school. You talked about your masters, and for me, I am all about this education system here in Kenya. I just have a lot of problems with it. You can go check out my video on that. But what's the difference? You studied both in Kenya and for your undergraduate and your masters in the USA. What's the difference?
Difference. So the biggest, the biggest, is that English? I don't know, but ile difference kubwa, it's first of all I did my masters online, and here I was going to class, and then if I was working full time, and here I was just unapiga pesa simu nyumbani utumiwe pesa, so there you have to work to pay your bills. It's kind of challenging, but if I did it, everyone can do it. I think, because and another thing here, when you get there, people will start telling you things like, for example, I went, kusema status quo in public, but anyway, so like me, everyone was telling me, hey, you're single, like there's no way you can survive in this country. Like this country is for people who are couples, or they have someone else to help them out. So even when I was starting school, they're like, how will you manage to pay your bills and still go to school? So for me, it worked really well because I was going to school online. But don't believe what people are saying. Just do whatever you want. Like if you unataka kitu, wafanya and you succeed. Because it wasn't easy. I had late nights, early mornings. I'm not even a morning person, but I had to wake up early to do those. And then the education system, I don't even know how to say if one is easier than the other one. I don't think I can compare, because here we were given assignments and then you do those assignments and submit. But there you have like those online writing, those people who do online writing, they can tell you, you write those essays, you have to make sure that plagiarism, and I know even here sometimes you need to check plagiarism, but I think there it's more. You need to check those plagiarism, your assignments need to be submitted on time and things like that. But I think both education systems are good, and I know you kind of think otherwise, but for me I can argue for both sides.
Okay, I think that's a whole entire discussion.
It's a whole other discussion.
Have another day. So, any last words to our audience, even as we wind up?
Last words: if you want to move abroad, just do it. Don't be afraid. Everything will be fine and everything will work out. Yeah. And while processing, and also just try and be informed. Like use your internet well, because it really helps. And make sure you have information. Information is power, as they say.
Information is power. You heard that right. Thank you for tuning in to a second episode. Stay tuned. We have more lined up. I hope you have learned a thing or two. I hope you're inspired to make that move. I hope the next time you watch my video, you will have taken the next action that you want if you're interested in moving abroad. Thank you so much, AC, for honoring our invite and also just coming to the show. We have learned a lot and we are honored for you to be part of this new segment.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.